Hello children, today the video is regarding understanding the concept of respiration. Now in previous topic you all would have understood that the steps of nutrition are basically comprised of 5 steps starting from ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. Now we'll be revising those steps one more time so as to understand this concept in a better way. You all must be knowing that the food which was digested was absorbed by the body by villi, and later on with the help of blood vessels and lymphatic vessel it is transported to all the parts of body. Now this simple food is then assimilated or used by the body so as to produce energy. Now this energy basically is stored in the body in the form of ATP. Now what is ATP? ATP is nothing but it is adenosine, which is a nucleotide to which 3 phosphate molecules are attached. This third molecule which is attached carries the maximum energy. So that means ADP plus the phosphate, when this energy is produced, converts into ATP, adenosine triphosphate. And likewise, when we require or the cell requires energy, this ATP third bond is broken down to release that energy, and this ATP again breaks into ADP and the free phosphate molecule with release of this energy. Approximately 1 mole of ATP releases 30.5 kilojoules of energy. ATP, that is why, is also known as the energy currency of the cell. Now coming to the main steps of respiration. Respiration, as you all now would have understood, is nothing but it is the process of oxidation of food to obtain energy. The 2 steps of respiration comprises of breathing and cellular respiration. Breathing is just the physical process which we all know, that inhalation and exhalation, but that oxygen which was taken inside, when that oxygen is actually utilized by the cell and the food is broken down inside the cell, inside the mitochondria to release energy, is the second step of respiration known as cellular respiration. So it is a chemical process. Together these 2 steps of respiration makes respiration a catabolic because it is breaking down. Catabolism means breaking down of the things. It is a catabolic biochemical process, and the main function of that process is to release energy, and this energy will then be utilized by the organism to perform different functions. Now again coming back to the first step of respiration, which is breathing. Breathing is basically a physical process in which only the exchange of gases takes place. That means the oxygen is taken in by the process of inhalation and carbon dioxide is released out by the process of exhalation. In inhalation, the air is sucked inside the lungs, which is rich in oxygen, and in exhalation, the air is pushed out of the lung, which is rich in carbon dioxide. So this process is nothing but the process of diffusion of gases. So 1 inhalation plus 1 exhalation comprises 1 breath, which is approximately 12 to 16 per minute. Coming to the second step of respiration, which is cellular respiration. It is a chemical process in which the food is oxidized if oxygen is present, and if not, then it is simply broken down inside the cell to release energy. That is why cellular respiration is further divided in 2 categories. One is aerobic respiration, when the glucose gets oxygen and it is broken down into carbon dioxide and water to release 38 ATP molecule. 1 molecule of glucose utilizes 6 oxygen molecules and releases 6 carbon dioxide and 6 molecules of water. The next step of cellular respiration, or the next type of cellular respiration, is anaerobic. An means the absence, when oxygen is actually not present, still the glucose is broken down by some organisms like yeast, and this process is known as process of fermentation, okay, which you have read in class 8th, that in the process of fermentation the glucose or any sugar molecule is broken down to release carbon dioxide, alcohol, and that alcohol is generally ethanol, with release of 2 ATP. So you can strikingly see the difference that if there is complete oxidation of glucose molecule, it releases 38 ATP, and if the oxidation is very less, in the absence of oxygen, the production of ATP also declines. Likewise, in human beings, when our striated muscles needs energy, in those particular conditions also, when oxygen is not available and body still requires energy, then the glucose is broken down in the absence of oxygen, again anaerobic oxygen, this is in human beings, and it produces 2 molecules of lactic acid with 2 ATP. Again, these type of respiration, this particular type of respiration is not as efficient as aerobic, but still something is better than nothing. So this anaerobic respiration releases energy, but that energy is released in very less amount. Okay, now we'll understand how the actual breaking down of glucose molecule takes place in the process of respiration. So this is a simple diagrammatic representation which is also given in the NCERT book of class 10, and of course that is important also because you must know that how the breaking down of glucose molecule takes place if oxygen is available and if it is not available. Now if the oxygen is available, then this particular glucose molecule is broken down first into pyruvate by the process of glycolysis, and this process takes place in cytoplasm. Then this pyruvate molecule will enter into mitochondria and will enter into a cycle known as Krebs cycle, and in the presence of oxygen as efficiently it will be broken down into carbon dioxide, water molecules with release of 38 ATP. The most efficient process to release energy. But if suppose oxygen is not available, because there are anaerobic organisms also, so how they will break down this glucose? So the first step is breaking down of 1 molecule of glucose, because it is C6, into 2 molecule of pyruvate or pyruvic acid, which is C3. So the first step remains same only, but the second step depends upon the fate that the oxygen is available or not, because it is performed inside the mitochondria. You can, if you remember the diagrammatic structure of mitochondria has these finger-like projections known as cristae, which has oxysomes or F0, F1 particle on it, and there the Krebs cycle or the complete oxidation of this pyruvate takes place. So one pyruvate approximately releases somewhere around 18 to 19 ATP. So if there are 2, we'll double the number. But what happens if oxygen is not available? The first step will remain same, and in organisms like yeast, the process of fermentation takes place in the absence of oxygen. So these 2 steps basically is nothing but anaerobic respiration, and this yeast will break down the pyruvate into ethanol and carbon dioxide with the release of 2 ATP. Then in human beings also, especially, or in animals where the striated muscles are present and they have to do large amount of work and oxygen is not available, then again the muscle tissue will not wait for oxygen. It will take this pyruvate, and in the absence of oxygen only, it will produce lactic acid with release of 2 ATP. So again the energy production is very less, but still something is being produced. Now this lactic acid, if stored in the muscles for a very long duration of time, give rise to cramps. So you would have often experienced that after a very long walk you feel tired and there are cramps in your leg, you need to take rest, and these cramping sensation is because of the formation of this lactic acid, because we are taking more work from our muscles without letting them relax. Okay, so how to get rid of this lactic acid then? We generally take rest for some time, we take warm bath, and by that the oxygen supply to those particular muscles again increases, and this lactic acid is then further broken down into carbon dioxide and water, and again this cramping situation is sorted out. So I hope you would have understood this concept of respiration, because our next video will be on the respiration in human beings. So to understand that, we first need to understand the concept of respiration in detail. If you like this video, please comment